Chapter 1, Procrastination. Back at the beginning of grade 10, my day looked a little something like this. I would set my alarm for 7, hit the snooze button a couple of times, and then get up. Then I would eat breakfast, go for a short run, and head off to school. School would go up until 3, and I would head back home to rewind after a long day. Now, usually after school, I would have some sort of extracurricular, and I would try to do something productive before then, but that rarely ever happened. See, trying to take on a task at this time just felt like too big of a commitment before having to head out and do something. So I would waste some time, go out and do whatever I had that day, come back, eat dinner, and rest some more. By this point, the entire day had already gone by, and I still had stuff that I needed to do. So I would drag myself to my desk at 9 and force myself to be productive until 11. Then, obviously, I would waste some more time on the internet before finally guilt-tripping myself into going to bed. Now, it wasn't a bad schedule by any means, but it just felt unsatisfying. There was never really a point in the day where I felt like I was particularly motivated to get work done. Sometimes, when my evening tasks were just easy homework, I could settle down and get it completed, but when it was a difficult task, it was draining to have to get that done at the end of a long day. So I started to think of a solution to the problems that I was facing. I had seen videos of the 5 a.m. grind before, but I never felt like it was a reasonable possibility for me. See, sometimes I would get the motivation to just try to wake up at that time for a couple of days, but that motivation would last just a couple of days. It wasn't until I found out about the routine of some guy who went to another school that I realized what I had been doing wrong. Chapter 2, grind. He was a friend of a friend, so I barely even knew him. What I did know, though, was that he wasn't too different from myself. Just a normal guy, 1 year older. And this is how his morning went. Wake up at 4:30, eat breakfast, and plan the day. Then he's at his desk, working for 2.5 hours until 7:30. Afterwards, go outside for a run, take a cold shower, and then head off to school. At night, it's lights out at 8:30 p.m. And that was the first thing I learned about waking up early. If you want to wake up early, you have to use your time effectively. See, I couldn't maintain that schedule before because I didn't have a plan for the morning. I was still in the mindset of getting all my work done at night. But you don't get any more time by waking up at 5 a.m. If you wake up early, you have to go to sleep early. The point is to prove to yourself that you can use the hours from 5 to 7 in the morning more effectively than you can use the hours from 9 to 11 at night. If you wake up early and all you do is waste your time, then there's no reason to wake up early at all. So if productivity is the problem, how exactly does a morning routine help with that? Here, I want to introduce you to a concept called flow. What is flow? I define it as a state in which you're completely immersed and energized by your task. When you're so involved in an activity that nothing else matters. When your concentration is so intense that your self-consciousness disappears. It is a state of effortless effort. It's a basketball player in the zone, a musician tuning out the world, a chef in their element. Flow is found in a balance between challenge and skill. When your skill is too high for the challenge level of task, you're bored. When the challenge is too high for your skill, you enter a state of anxiety. Flow is where your challenge and the skill meet, and it increases as both your skill and your challenge increase. When you do something of little challenge with little skill, you're in the state opposite to that of flow, and that is apathy. So, how do you achieve flow? The first step is to eliminate all distractions. Browsing through social media and watching videos is a task without challenge which requires no skill. The enemy of flow. Early in the morning, there are no phone calls, no text messages, nothing happening on social media. It is the perfect time for focus. Second is to prime your body and mind. It takes a certain amount of energy and mental state to be able to achieve flow. Early in the morning, your body and mind are fresh and ready to work. After a long day at school or work, this is less likely to be the case. Lastly, you want to set clear goals. Early in the morning, you're able to carefully organize your time before you leave for school or work. This allows you to be on track for the things that you want to accomplish. I'm not saying that waking up early will automatically let you experience this great feeling, but what I am saying is that a morning routine will help you give the tools that you need in order to be productive. If you can prove to yourself that you can take advantage of these benefits of the early morning to use the hours from 5 to 7 a.m., better than the hours from 9 to 11 p.m., then you might gain something from the morning grind. Chapter 3, building habits. The next thing I learned was the power of establishing a routine. The key to success is habits and consistency, not bursts of short-lived motivation. When you try to do something difficult inconsistently, it requires willpower each and every time you do it. However, if you train yourself to do a difficult task on a regular basis, you're able to achieve the same level of self-discipline with less willpower. Remember, a little willpower plus a lot of consistency equals self-discipline. Even the most mentally strong will have a tough time going on a run every once in a while because it's good for their health. However, if you train yourself to run every day, even better if it's at the same time, it no longer becomes something which requires a great deal of willpower. Rather, it becomes something which you just do. It becomes effortless effort. Wake up at 5 a.m. is a tough task, but very achievable if you're able to develop good habits. This means wake up early not just on weekdays, but weekends, breaks, holidays, whenever you can. Such consistency will make this act of self-discipline automatic. This is not to mention the potential for creating other habits which involve getting up early. The morning is perfect for setting aside consistent, dedicated time towards something. That might be working out or stretching. I personally make sure that I exercise every morning. It could also be practicing art or developing a skill. Working daily towards something will help you improve in the same automatic manner. Chapter 4, mental game. Finally, the most important thing that I learned was the mental aspect of waking up early. Although it's not very concrete or quantifiable, I would argue that the largest benefits of getting up at 5 a.m. comes with what happens in the mind. After all, you're not giving yourself any more time, you're simply shifting your schedule. Firstly, you're getting a head start. That alone gives me a boost of confidence, and it will give you one too, if this is something that you choose to do. Waking up at 5 gives you a 2-hour head start every day on people who are up at 7. Waking up at 5 on the weekend gives you a 4-hour head start on those who are up at 9. The amount of work that many complete by the evening of their day, you can get finished by mid-afternoon. Of course, they might be still up and at it at 11 p.m. and you'd be out cold by 9, but that brings me to my second point. It's nice to organize your day, to work first and relax later. Going hard in the morning allows you to finish your day's tasks early, allowing you to settle down and relax in the evenings. It's a good feeling to know that you're done all the day's duties by, say, 7 o'clock. But how do you stay focused after the morning has passed? Third, wake up early is the first step to setting up a great day. I want to make this clear. Nobody likes getting up early. What people like is the peace and quiet of the morning, the benefits to productivity, the time for themselves. Wake up early is a tough task, and when that first alarm clock goes off, it is a test. When you make the decision to get out of bed, you've already won your first battle. Then you're put into another test. Are you going to be productive, or are you going to waste your time? If you followed the right steps, actively search for flow, eliminated your distractions, set out clear goals for yourself, then you've won again. After these victories early on in the day, you're going to be encouraged to go out and win some more battles. To quote Robin Sharma, take excellent care of the front end of your day, and the rest of your day will pretty much take care of itself. Own your morning. Elevate your life. And if by chance you have a bad day, a morning routine will encourage you to make your next day better. Rather than digging a deeper hole for yourself by staying up late and sleeping in the next morning, you're free to end the day early and try to redeem yourself the morning after. Finally, to wake up at 5 a.m. is to conquer hardship. You challenge yourself every day, proving to yourself that you're capable. For many, it seems impossible, which is why it's all the more powerful if you do it and you stick with it. It's the same reason why people take cold showers. Yeah, it soothes their muscles, it improves circulation. But really, people take cold showers because cold showers are uncomfortable. You don't really want to take a cold shower. You don't really want to wake up at 5 a.m. But you do it anyway, and that feels good. That builds discipline. Chapter 5, How To. Since April of last year, my day has looked a little bit more like this. I wake up at 5, eat breakfast, and then head to my desk. That gives me a good couple of hours to get some work done. Then I go out for a run and then head off to school. School goes up until 3 and I head back home to rewind after a long day. Now, if I have an extracurricular that day, I would take some of the time before then to do easy homework, lighter tasks, stuff like that. Afterwards, I go out, do what I need to do, come back, eat dinner, and by this point, I relax, play piano, and and study if I need to. The stuff that I do change from day to day, and especially with the rise in schoolwork as an IB student, my priorities have shifted over time. What hasn't changed, though, is having a plan every morning to be productive. So, how do you start waking up at 5 a.m.? I think the important takeaway isn't the time you're getting up. Rather, it's how you use that time, how you can use it effectively, how it affects the habits that you want to build, how it affects your mind. This schedule works great for me, but it might not for all people. If you can find your flow at 10 p.m., then there's no reason to move to a schedule like this one. If, however, you encounter some of the same challenges that I used to have, and you want to try the routine, then the steps are simple. First, find a time that works for you, and wake up at that time every day, regardless of whether or not it's a weekend. Adjust your bedtime to make sure that you get enough sleep, and stick to that schedule. If you can maintain your consistency, waking up early will no longer be something that's extremely difficult or tiring. Second, seize the morning. If you can master the moments between when you get out of bed and when you go to school or work, you can master your day. Lastly, document your progress and reflect on your journey. Understand how you feel and know what you need to do in order to feel better. Follow these steps and tackle your procrastination in a concrete, literal way. Find your discipline and in turn, find your freedom. Thank you very much.